the Pngtv Live News. I'm Quintina Naime. Relief efforts and recovery are ongoing for earthquake-impacted areas, with about 20 million kina currently spent and committed for relief supplies, infrastructure maintenance, and other logistics into the affected areas. The Emergency Disaster Restoration Team confirms close to 4 million kina has been used so far on food and other relief supplies. Emergency Controller for the Emergency Disaster Restoration Team, Dr. William Hamlin, tells Pngtv Live they've committed a lot more on road infrastructure maintenance. Dr. Hamlin has prepared a report for Cabinet on the cost for road clearance activities provided by the Department of Works. The team has distributed relief supplies to the most affected villages and is now looking at the areas not covered. Initially, 12 containers of relief supplies were sent from Mount Hagen to Tari last week and distributed to the most affected areas. Another 7 containers of relief supplies are now in Tari and 4 currently in Mount Hagen, ready to be distributed to affected areas.
Now, some have had 1 trip, some have had 2 or 3. But these other ones, there's Summit Hides 4, Telefoam and Candep, Nomad, and a bit Kokori. We're getting stuff up the Kokori as well. So they are the ones we're trying to address now over the next few days.
Dr. Hamlin reveals over 150 have died so far, including over 120 in Hela province alone. Thousands of people have been injured and treated at health centers with ongoing daily evacuations.
2 people, old people, stuck on a mountain at the moment near Mount Basavi, and we're about to launch another rescue bid to get those 2 people off. They've been there for 3 days without food or water. Those old people, we've got to get them off there. So. Those, you can see by that instance, if no one was there, you would not know whether they were deceased or otherwise. So it's very difficult to give those figures, but they're approximates.
Currently, 4,000 mosquito nets and 5,000 solar lights are being distributed, with plans to establish water purifiers.
We're looking at water. We've sent out water purification tablets. We're looking at buying water purifiers, mobile water purifiers we can put on the back of 4x4s. And run them on the battery and or diesel, so that we can purify water in these, especially those care centres. So we need water in those places. We can't continue to send bottled water in there.
Quintina Naime, Pngtv Live. ExxonMobil PNG's initial assessment of 8 weeks for the PNG LNG project to recommence operations still remains the same. The petroleum company's managing director Andrew Berry says they faced minimal damage to most infrastructure, which withstood the quake as designed. Berry adds that while they are looking at May to resume operations, the company's immediate priority remains in providing relief assistance to affected areas.
Getting the operations back up and running. We're very confident that we built this equipment, we know how to repair it, and so we're very, very confident that we'll be able to get the facilities back up and running. It's just a matter of time around that, and we'll be back up and running and providing all the benefits through to the government and the communities that we were previously.
Meantime, Mineral Resource Development Company will be distributing 5.5 million kina across 4 provinces affected by last month's earthquake. MRDC Managing Director Agustin Mano says the funds will be managed by the respective provincial governments and has requested for the funds to be used well to ensure relief is given to those affected. Gregory Avira reports.
Last month's quake in the islands region and parts of Gulf and Western Province has caused much destruction to lives and property. Most of the areas affected belong to people who are beneficiaries to the Mineral Resource Development Company. MRDC Managing Director Augustine Mano says the respective boards of the subsidiary companies have approved a collective 5.5 million kina to be given directly to the affected provinces. These include 1.5 million kina each for Southern Islands and Gulf from Petroleum Resource Kutubu, another 1.5 million kina to Ela Province, and Mineral Resource Oktedi will provide 1 million for Western Province. With the funds set to go out, Mano has urged the provincial governments to spend well on relief efforts.
My message to the provincial government is that I want those funds that we have given must be put into the respective people who are affected by it. And that's the responsibility I leave to the respective governors to effectively deliver those needed goods and services.
Prior to this, MRDC had given 3 million kina to the main relief effort and continues to provide logistic support in delivering relief supplies. While supplies are reaching those affected, another pressing issue is the need for health care.
We're also talking to PIH to bring in doctors, so that's what's lacking up there, so doctors and medical supplies so that they can go in and then people can also get on the ground and then look at the people that are actually affected.
So far, MRDC has assisted in airlifting up to 24 tons of food, water and medical supplies from Mount Again to Moro and into affected areas. Gregory Avira, Pngtv Live.
Ensuring effective coordination and delivery of relief supplies into the earthquake-affected communities continues to be the focus for relief assistance from both the state and private sector. Petroleum company ExxonMobil PNG says it will continue in its relief program with short and long-term priorities identified, which includes restoration funding worth 75 million kina to assist in rebuilding infrastructure in affected provinces. Gregory Aviva reports.
Food items are sorted and packed away, ready to be moved to areas affected by last month's earthquake. Rows of packed food line storage and distribution sites, a common scene in recent weeks as the relief effort continues. Relief efforts into the quake-affected areas of the Southern Islands, Ella and Western Province continue to flow in from both the private and public sector. For petroleum company ExxonMobil, it has so far delivered close to 20,000 tons of food and water, medical supply, and also provided logistic support. The items that are being collected here today are expected to be sent up tomorrow before it is distributed throughout the affected communities. The 7.5 magnitude quake has taken the lives of over 100 individuals, with the death toll still rising, and has left thousands more affected. ExxonMobil PNG Managing Director Andrew Berry says ensuring the much-needed supplies reach those affected continues to be priority.
This is just one example of what we're doing, working with Salvation Army to be able to get food delivered here, put it together, package it up. This will go into Moro shortly, and then out of Moro, we're working with all of the teams there in the coordination activities to help identify where the neediest areas are in the communities, and then this food will get delivered into those communities.
The petroleum company had initially given 3.5 million kina for disaster relief and continues to provide food and medical supplies. While these are its immediate and short-term objectives, it plans to give over 70 million kina to support restoration efforts in the coming months.
And then the other thing that we're working on is also from an infrastructure perspective and looking at how we can potentially accelerate and increase the amount of funds that we'll be doing from an infrastructure to the tune of up to 75 million kina that we'll be working with the government to accelerate and increase the infrastructure funding in the roads and infrastructure to be able to help going forward on a longer term basis.
Meantime, the petroleum company, through its partnership with the Australian National University, plans on assisting with re-establishment of food gardens in affected communities through its Community Livelihood Improvement Program. Gregory Avira, Pngtv Live.
You're watching Pngtv Live News. More after this break. Welcome back. You're watching Pngtv Live News. In PNG, around 5,000 to 6,000 babies die each year, mainly from preventable causes. With an aim of reducing statistics, an innovative device known as the hypothermia bracelet was invented, which detects and alerts in the event of neonatal hypothermia, facilitating improved the basic care of newborns. Florida Golaseni with more.
The National Department of Health, in partnership with the Pediatrics Association of Papua New Guinea, University of Papua New Guinea and Goroka, and UNICEF, shared findings of a program carried out in the Eastern Highlands and the National Capital District. The program was focused at improving neonatal survival in Papua New Guinea with an implementation research on improved hypothermia management to reduce neonatal morbidity and mortality, applying hypothermia alerting device locally, renamed as Baby Call Kilok. Dr. Sibak Beb, Executive Manager for Public Health, says approximately 200 to 3,000 babies are born every year in Papua New Guinea, and out of that, some 20,000 are below birth weight. Therefore, the device was implemented to reduce risks.
The challenge of, making sure that each of those 20,000, along with their babies that are born, live through the first month of their lives and then the first 1,000 days of their lives, so that we give them that opportunity to develop into, productive human beings that can contribute to the good of mankind.
The overall objective of the study that was carried out in Port Moresby General Hospital, Goroka Hospital, and in the local communities in Eastern Highlands Province was to understand and validate the feasibility and effectiveness by applying the device in rural areas.
We did this case and control. We put this device with few babies, some babies, and some without this device. Then we monitor their the mothers with congruent mother care practice, breastfeeding, and the word gain, and other things. So then in the process also, we try to get all the due diligent processes.
SETI says the device is immediately put on the baby's wrist after birth and continuously monitors for a month at home or at the health facility.
So when the mother holds the baby on skin-to-skin contact or congruent mother care, the temperature normalizes. When the temperature becomes normal, again it becomes blue color. This very simple device, it gives indication whether the child is
Dr. Beb added that the government is happy to partner with UNICEF to carry out the study to give evidence and improve the way analysis on newborn babies in the country. And with a positive approach, the device is triggering the positive behavioral changes among service providers, caretakers and mothers especially for improved newborn care. Florida Gulaseni, Pngtv Live.
Day 17 following the devastating quake that struck parts of Hela and Southern Highlands Province, and donations from statutory bodies included the Kumul Petroleum Holdings Limited this morning. 50 million kina was donated today to assist with relief efforts in restoring much needed infrastructure to those affected on ground. Belinda Kora reports.
Managing Director of KPHL, Wapo Song, says the assistance will go towards the National Disaster Relief Fund, and he is hoping the team appointed by Cabinet will work with the provincial teams and National Disaster Office to fast-track and complement efforts by NGOs, aid agencies, donor countries and corporate entities, including individuals.
I would like to ask the National Relief effort team to use the funds and work with the provincial teams that have been set up, work in coordination with the NGOs and the aid agencies and the corporates like Allsets, Exxon, and other corporates that have come on, more recently Santos, and more are coming in, to help with the relief efforts.
Mr. Song also says if need be, they will look at long-term assistance as well.
We don't want to duplicate. If there is something else we can do that's a bit more long-term, more sustainable than the relief efforts, I think what we are putting in now should be enough to do all the relief work and restoration of some of the key infrastructure.
Also present was Chairman Moi Ave, who reiterated the need to focus on our attention on this national disaster and our people.
This is a national disaster, and all the national companies must show the leadership. And today, the board has considered what has happened in Southern Highlands and Hela. Let's not be parochial about this issue. This is a national disaster.
Managing Director Wapo Song says key petroleum projects and infrastructure in Hela, Southern Highlands Province and Western Provinces have been affected, but not as severely from initial assessments provided by ExxonMobil, Oil Search Limited and Repsol. He says they are hopeful that production will be restored in the next 2 months as indicated by ExxonMobil.
Future economic growth will rely on developing a modern economy through the effective use of information and communication technology, or ICT. Papua New Guinea, through the Department of Communication and Information, is formulating a national ICT roadmap to develop a policy. The ICT roadmap details key activities to be targeted in the short, medium, and long term so that the Department of Communication and Information can develop the relevant policies accordingly. The roadmap looks into improving areas of infrastructure, services including affordability and availability, skills, business environment and safety, which focuses on cybersecurity and fraud prevention. The roadmap was introduced to government entities today during an ICT stakeholders workshop to gauge their views in formulating the roadmap before it is presented to Cabinet. Acting Secretary for the Department of Communication and Information, Police Connie, says the workshop is in response to the need for harmonized approach to ICT policy for development. Culminating from that, a policy will be put through Cabinet so PNG can have a clear policy in the ICT space.
I want to see that we have a unified approach. That's why we have all the stakeholders, including all the departments, key departments, so that we can drive policy. Without consultation and a collaborative effort, we cannot drive policy. And so that is the way forward.
The department has engaged consultancy firm Analysis Mason to support the institutional strengthening of the department, which includes developing the roadmap. From their research, Analysis Mason reveals PNG continues to face the challenges of high internet service pricing in the region.
But there's many reasons for these high prices. Papua New Guinea has less competition than many of its neighbouring countries. There's a very high cost of delivering this infrastructure because Papua New Guinea has quite difficult mountainous terrain, which makes it very difficult to deploy mobile sites and to get power and backhaul connectivity to those sites.
The ICT roadmap is in line with the 2018 APEC theme, harnessing inclusive opportunities, embracing the digital future. Quintina Naime, Pngtv Live. You're watching Pngtv Live News. More after this break. Welcome back. You're watching Pngtv Live News. It's day 17 following the devastating earthquake on the 26th of March that struck Hela and parts of Southern Highlands province, and it seems more relief assistance is still to reach many on ground, especially in remote areas of both provinces. Kutubu LLG in the Southern Highlands province consists of 18 wards and also suffered the loss of over 20 lives within its communities. Belinda Cora reports.
President John Killer is in Port Moresby to brief authorities, including those who are assisting to bring in relief supplies. He is concerned that while people from Kutubu are suffering, the urge to discuss political matters may interfere with the process of restoring normalcy on ground. This was reflected during a swearing-in yesterday of members of Kutubu LLG's Special Purpose Authority.
Disla, swearing-in blow. Two-plan director coming to vote. Now I'm board director now. Swearing in blow. Teach him chairman. Because chairman, Noman Babi start finish Kevin signing finish.
On ground, Mr. Killer says his people are grateful for all the support that has been given to the people affected, especially MRDC and Oil Search Limited. However, damages of vital infrastructure and the need for clean drinking water is a must at this time. More and more supplies from Moro, with the assistance of Oil Search Limited, is now being transported into affected areas during this time.
Keke, and pull up. Now Molo come yet. MRDC managing director still condemned stop yet. Lo Hagen. Managing director lo MDC condemned stop yet. That's all. Now all need him longen. Wara mi bla kare mi go drink. But rice mi bla kare mi go. Rice him stop yet. Now people asking me. Rice and Pamela cooking lo one. Blow cooking lo one because rice and Pamela keke nubla. I'm hot. So people are concerned, water,
Yolanda village within the Lake Kutubu LLG has also been inundated, covering homes and food gardens. He is now urging leaders of the Southern Highlands province, including of the authority and the LLG presidents, to work together for the restoration of normalcy within the district.
Kutubu Special Purpose Authority, you mean part of government. So you mean work boom one them. Now you mean help him legal people. People line help him. You mean to support him. Must get projects that must be. Support more people. People hungry. Some plan the man Mary and then it long run D1 or something karma bin finish. Hello,
Meantime, with the aim of assisting with relief efforts for the disaster-stricken victims in Hela and Southern Highlands Province, 16 PNG music artists have joined hands to support this cause by officially announcing an earthquake relief concert set for the 7th of April this year. Spearheading the concert is Johnny Yawari, also known as Wame Blood. He says the aim of this concert is to raise a target of over 50,000 kina to help the earthquake victims. Florida Golaseni with more.
Music plays quite a significant role in Papua New Guinea. Songs written by the PNG artists themselves have varied over time and gained recognition and fame from all over the country, and the earthquake-hit areas was no exception, for many of these artists came from this part of the region and have also written songs about these very places. Johnny Yawari, also known as Wame Blood, says so many business houses have done their part, and as musicians with fans right across the country, they have agreed to also give back.
Some of us are from Southern Highlands area and from the affected area from Kurubu in Southern Highlands, where the earthquake, most of the earthquake has impacted us, our lives and our people. So we, as a Southern Highlander.
He added that the concert fundraiser will be focused more on the relief restoration.
Roofing iron, canvases, all these to start their life again. So basically what we do now, what fundraiser we do, any proceeds that come from this event will all go straight to the relief event that is taking place.
Yawari further says that the funds from this concert will go directly to the provincial government of the Southern Highlands and Hela province. After the concert, the artist will be taken up to the earthquake-affected areas by Heli Solutions to distribute their reliefs and help with the situation on the ground. The Earthquake Appeal concert will fall on the 7th of April next month at the Cosmopolitan, with tickets pre-sold for 50 kina and at gate for 60 kina. The concert will showcase big-name PNG artists from all over the regions across the country like O4, Bata Ross, Malmalinga Kuri, Big Mac, B-Red, Chronox, CMB, Sprigga Mac, Titi Rocks and 3 female artists. The artists behind this drive made an appeal to the wider Port Moresby to come along and join the drive, which will be a night of entertainment for a good cause. Florida Gulaseni, Pngtv Live.
And that's where we end the news and the news bulletin. Pleasant viewing. Good night.